Hey, Bemileke, how you doing? You asked how to learn DevOps. Let me give you a practical roadmap. First thing you need to know is that most learning advice is either too vague or too rigid. I want to give you something flexible, something that actually works. First tip is you start with the fundamentals. There's no beating that. You should start with the fundamentals. Linux basics. You need to understand the Linux command line, files, permissions, processes, etc. And the reason is this: it's not because you necessarily use Linux every day, but because you need to think like the system, because over 60% of the cloud runs on Linux. We cannot argue that. So you need to know how the internet works. You need to know how the internet runs. After you've learned the basics of Linux, the next thing you want to learn is Git. So what is Git? Git is a command version control system. It is non-negotiable if you're going to be a DevOps engineer, a cloud engineer, software engineer, whatever kind of software-based engineer that you want to be, either deploying infrastructure or deploying code. You cannot run away from version control. You need to learn the basics of Git at least. How to clone, how to commit, how to push, how to pull, how to branch, and how to merge. Those are non-negotiables. Every DevOps workflow that I know of, that I've experienced, starts with a version control system, and Git is the most popular one these days. So you've learned Linux, you've learned Git. The next thing you want to do is pick a cloud platform. Why cloud platform? Because that is where the world is. Yes, you could learn data centers and deployment on-prem and all that, but I must tell you for a fact that most companies now are born in the cloud. You have varying options. The three most popular ones being Azure, AWS, and GCP. Pick one. Go as deep as you want to be. Don't try to learn all the three at once because you're going to get confused. Get comfortable creating resources, virtual machines, storage accounts, networking. You've done that. Now you need to learn what we call CICD, continuous integration and continuous deployment. What do you do here? This is where DevOps lives. You automate builds, automate tests, automate deployment of everything. Oh, by the way, thinking of automation of deployment, I actually made a video where I deployed end-to-end the to-do application to Azure using zero secrets in your configuration. You can check that out using the card showing right now upon your screen, or check the video description and pin comment for that video. It actually goes in depth onto what real-life DevOps really is. Next is you want to learn GitHub Actions, or Azure DevOps, or Jenkins. Pick one, build a pipeline. Let things deploy automatically for you from now on. Next you want to learn is what we call infrastructure as code. You've been able to click through the portal, through the interface, console, GUI, whatever it's called in the cloud platform you're choosing. That is fun, right? But where it gets more fun is you've been able to put that configuration in a code such that it's now repeatable. You can modify that and even version control it to ensure that you can track changes and even revert changes just in case you mess something up. So there are many infrastructure as code tools in the world today that we know. The most popular of them and the most use of them being Terraform. But of course, we still have Azure Resource Manager, templates, Bicep, and I'm talking of Azure World here now. There are many other ones in the other cloud platforms. I major in Azure, that's why I could tell you ARM and Bicep for sure. So define your infrastructure in code, version it, deploy it, repeat the process over and over again. No more manual clicks in the Azure portal. Oh, by the way, speaking of this roadmap I'm giving you, I actually made a more detailed roadmap in this video showing right now upon your screen. You can check that out right about now. So everything is reproducible. And of course, containers, you cannot overemphasize that. Docker first, Kubernetes later, or any other container orchestration tool you might want to learn. But these are the most popular ones that are being used today. Understand images, understand containers, then orchestrate them. But here is the key. Here is the key for you. Don't just watch tutorials. Build something. Build projects. Project 1. Deploy a web app with a CICD pipeline. Project 2. Containerize that app with Docker. Project 3. Deploy it to Kubernetes. Project 4. Automate the infrastructure with Terraform. 4 projects out of the way already. You see, that is real world. That is where you want to get to. Don't watch tutorials. Yes, I make tutorials, but don't just watch my tutorials. Go ahead and practice it. Clone the repository, break it, and fix it. That is the real world. That is where you should be getting to. And then, of course, one thing that you need to know is that hands-on, real-world experience will get messy. That is how you learn. Things do not work at first most times. If it works at first most times, you're probably just writing hello world, which of course is the most simplest thing you can do. If you're doing real things, if you're doing the real infrastructure deployment that you're supposed to be doing, I can assure you of the fact that things will break. Yes, there are people who have gotten used to things such that their demos go flawlessly and all that. You see in the tutorial, magic of video editing, you can cut errors out. Hey, the truth is things will break. They probably will not show you in the tutorials, but I try as much as possible to also show you errors in my own tutorials also. So that's why it takes that long. So that is how you learn. Things will break. Things will not work. That is how you learn. That by fixing things, you actually learn and it becomes part of you from day to day. And of course, join a community. Join a community on WhatsApp, on Discord, on Telegram. Physical communities are back now. COVID is over. DevOps subreddit, Discord servers, Twitter. Ask questions. Also, learn in public. Share what you're building. Have a portfolio online. You'll learn faster with others. And now, realistic expectations here. Realistic expectations. This will take time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months to get comfortable with everything. In about a year, you will feel very confident. If you want to be strong, 2 years. So take right now, you probably have no clue what you're doing. In about 5 months, you're job ready. In about 1 year, you're confident. In about 2 years, you're ready for your next promotion. But the thing is this, don't rush it. Build your foundation properly. So that's a roadmap, Bemileke. That is how you learn DevOps. I hope this has answered your question. So just to give you a recap of what we've talked about, Linux, Git, cloud platforms, CICD, infrastructure as code, Docker, Kubernetes. But the most important part, projects and community. Start building today.